Hit it, James. Put the Barocca in that water.
Oh, yeah. Ready?
Ready? Pop.
Pop. There's only one left. No, there's not. Yeah,
Like an ASMR.
Ready?
Show them. Show the public. This is recorded on YouTube, by the way.
Ooh.
You can hear that bubble.
So, 2 hydrogen,
Yeah.
1 oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
Creates this...
What do you get?
Water.
Water!
What a fancy topic. Like, I wonder who came up with this,
I
Jess.
know. I wonder who, indeed. It's our good mate James over here, the artiste, the Amory Beach, the one, the only.
I just kind of think when you
James.
really come down to it, we are water. And every person,
We're like 70%, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a human being is 70%.
it's just like, it's part of us. We're all made up of matter and all that kind of stuff. And we're made up of water. And we cry. Tears are water. We can cry of laughter. There's so many different...
It flows, it crashes.
Yeah.
You
And
should
it
go,
takes
like
on
Bruce
so
Lee
many-
says.
Yeah,
You
it
have to
takes
just
on
go
so
with the
many-
flow.
So many different, like, it can be solid as ice. Like, it's like crazy when you really think about it.
It could be
Here's
hit
this
by a
thing-
wave.
And it can be so soft as well. And it
Yeah.
can, like, you can float on it, like, when it's combined with salt. And it's just like, you know, like the Dead Sea and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like awesome as well, and how it just takes on the properties of stuff. Like, you put lime.
It
or you
just
put-
adapts to its surroundings.
And
you
I
know?
think how much has it got to teach us is like, if we're made up of 70% of it, how much of it kind of comes back to who we are and comes back to those hard moments in life
Exactly.
where we're very rigid, where we feel we're stuck.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
And it's good
And
to
then
cry
over
as
time,
well.
yeah.
It feels good when you cry. And
To
yes, we're
release.
reunited. We're reunited, yes, with
Finally.
people that are not
I'm
in
very
Melbourne.
smelly.
Lockdown is over, and me and James were able to
been
film
warm,
the
I
podcast
know.
at his apartment. It's been really warm. Like, make up your mind. It's bloody... But the power was out last Friday. And I was like, ooh, I wonder about the podcast. And we managed to pull through.
I know, we did. We did.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is exciting.
Now it feels like summer.
And we've been, you know,
Recording.
recording.
Our
which is
song,
good.
which is coming out soon. Jess is making her debut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exciting. We're getting some melodies down, which is
Yes.
good.
Yes, we are.
We'll get there, which is cool.
We were
And-
very productive today. Very
Yeah.
productive.
It's kind of interesting because I thought we were going to do this tomorrow night, and then I was just like, wow, like, this day has been super productive. It's
Yeah,
like,
I was just
boom.
driving past, and then I'm just like, hey, hang on a sec. Wait.
Yeah.
James!
So, yeah, water, I just think would be epic to talk about. Like, there's so many different ways to include it in your life.
Yeah.
They say that having a shower in the morning is a ritual that ties you to water. Having
It's
a
very
tea
cleansing.
or coffee as well requires water. Everything we do in terms of cleaning dishes or everything, we're so dependent upon it. And here's this resource that is so precious.
I know that we take for granted, just like, oh, I don't want a glass of water. I want a beer. I want this. I want that.
But it requires water to
Yeah.
have it. So it's just like, why not just have the water?
And it doesn't taste like anything, but you feel really good. Your skin clears, no pimples.
Yeah, I know.
My skin is kind of like fairer, I would say, with me. When I drink water, I'm more awake. Like today, I didn't drink shit all when it came to water. I just had a kombucha provided by James.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like when you drink properly, like you have drunk 3 liters, yeah? How do you feel?
Not today, which is bad. But usually, sometimes. I
God.
actually need to get back into that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's a sliding scale. It's like you're really good on your game and then it just goes downhill.
I like exercising. Like
Yes,
you can
that's
be
been really bad.
you can be really determined for 24 to 48 hours and then you're just like, fuck this.
Yeah, it was actually funny because went out obviously last night and caught up with my friend Jackie. And
Hi, Jackie.
hey Jackie, who's been on the
Do you
podcast.
remember me?
Yeah, she remembers you. And she was just basically saying, you know how you're on dating sites and how they go, hobby is and interest is going to the gym.
Oh, yeah.
And Jackie,
Those wannabes.
Jackie and I were talking about it, and we're like, is like exercise a hobby?
I
Like
think for some people they are. Like they're very, it's their thing. Like it's kind of like when you have a fight and people go for a walk afterwards. Some boys go to the gym.
We both said like, is self-care
like a
a
hobby.
hobby? And we're like, no, it's like something
just
that
self-care.
you do. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And we're just like talking about it. It's like, what? You don't have anything else that you do?
It's kind of like what you're like passionate about. People can be passionate about pumping weights, I guess. Like looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We just said
I can't
we're
say
not
it.
sure that it's a hobby.
Interesting. Very interesting theory as you drink your water with your broker. But yes, James came up with this topic when it was raining, and I'm like, James, do you have any idea for a topic? And he's like, water.
Yeah, it just came to me randomly. But how much of the, like, we've talked about this previously, but like ice and how it like freezes when it's based on like different sounds. Also water quality
pH.
Impacts
pH.
upon.
I loved that TV show Down to Earth when Zac Efron is on Netflix, and he's just like, he sits on that table with Anna Kendrick, and they're trying different water, and it tastes metallic-y the more pH it has.
Yeah.
It's actually quite interesting. And he's just like, don't drink water from a bottle. And if you have to, make sure it says spring on it or something like that, he says.
Yeah. No, it's like he tells you that if it says like a lot of those waters like
the 70-cent
Fuji
ones
or whatnot, and all those ones,
they have no nutrients. And when he was explaining, like when you drink water with nutrients, there is a difference in taste, that you're just putting rubbish in your system. It's actually quite interesting because you wouldn't think looking at it, a clear substance would have anything. But there you go.
I also found it interesting how they use like the light, the UV light in Paris, and how Paris has that water initiative where they're using the natural springs and making sure that it has like, the properties that water would usually carry. So like some, nutrients such as like potassium and all those like trace elements that are naturally found in spring water because it's in the ground.
It's kind of like
the rocks.
My mum used to filter water as well.
Yeah.
And there is a difference in taste. It's weird. It's weird to explain.
But also, it's like you don't want to strip, like it's a counteractive. It's like you want to strip the bad things out of water, but you don't want to strip
it's like
everything.
the balance of things.
But it's like, I don't know, it's very, I love like sound theory as well. How a lot of songs use like, rain or whatnot to set a mood and an emotion.
That was a scientific study, isn't it? You got like, what did they get? Was it a plant? Was it a bowl of water? I can't remember. But they put like heavy metal, and then they put
that's what we were
classical. We were talking about this, and ice,
they put it in the thing, and it shows the ice
That's
crystals.
it, and how they disperse. Yeah, under a microscope.
Yes.
Yeah. That was quite interesting. They were all dramatically different.
It's like a vibration, and it kind of all comes back to the numbers as well.
It's very interesting. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
When you think about it, it's just like water has the ability to do all these different things, help so many people. If you're stranded on an island, you don't need food. Well, you do, but you need water. Definitely.
Like when we did our podcast about being stranded on an island, I'm plugging that in there. Go listen to it. It's really good. Yeah. It's just number one on both of our lists was water. And you have to be careful with it. And even if you're like, I don't know, Castaway and Tom Hanks on an island, like how to prepare, like you can't drink. That's the most like dramatic thing, isn't it? You're surrounded by all this water in the sea and you can't drink it. It's
pretty
just,
crazy.
it's crazy how you have to filter water. What a drain. Let's hope it never comes to that.
I hope so.
But yes, I love water. I love the sound of, I can always fall asleep like that so quickly when it's raining.
And you're inside and you're cozy.
Yeah.
And it's like dripping on the window as well.
It's perfect.
And you're just like, oh.
It's
and
just
that,
what
like,
you need.
You know
the
how
tickling,
water
like,
has that like property of like, you know, like the droplets, and it's like running on glass, etc., etc. And it's kind of that little bit of, I guess, it impacts the glass and it gives it, I guess,
what,
kind
condensation?
Yeah.
Is that you like the on the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like the droplets.
Yeah.
And like on leaves and stuff, and you get to see how it just has that, the movement of like the flowiness of it. And then like when you see people in their clothes underwater and all that kind
flow.
of stuff.
It's kind of like space and water is kind of like the same effect.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's like all like,
I know. And like the different, who knows what's in the ocean as well, far out.
How like water, how it the light will like kind of dance through like a pool or like off the stuff that like also fascinates me. Also like just the waves.
Just everything. Frozen, not frozen. Even those like glaciers you see in like Antarctica when it's on TV or whatever, like what the hell? And how it melts and how it's like climate change. It's just everything.
How it can have like the ability to, you know, allow you to float, and then also have the ability to like
crash
pull
and
you
kill
under,
you. Yeah.
and like
whirlpools,
break, and like all that kind of stuff, flooding, like drown you. It's like icebergs and Titanic. It's like, it's such a, what's the word? It's such a life force, but also such a kind of dangerous
Did you hear the theory?
thing.
You mentioned the Titanic. There's this theory that the side of the boat was already damaged.
Yeah, I heard that.
Did you hear that? And
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
Ooh.
So it was doomed from the beginning. But yeah, it's interesting. It's got so many, it flows, it never rushes when you see a stream. It's relaxing.
It freezes.
Yeah, it freezes, crashes, it kills you, doesn't kill you.
It's like, snow can be like really soft.
Oh, snow too.
And you can like throw it, and then it can also be like really dangerous, like depending on the conditions of the snow and how long it's been there and whatnot. So like when there's fresh powder and whatnot, because it's not so bad yet, it's more softer, etc., etc. And when it gets, you know, harder and more brittle because it's colder and whatnot, and there's more ice and whatnot, like it has the ability, like you go skiing and you like can
kind of
do
like
some
boiling as well.
Yeah, and you can do some real damage to it. That's like what another thing is, like you can boil it. You can do there's so much you can do with it.
I always put like I don't know, this is something I've done ever since I was little. It's kind of like a cheap humidifier where you put like a glass of water in the corner of the room, and it's meant to suck the or actually make the air more purified.
Oh really?
Yeah, I remember. I still do it to this day. It just makes it more, apparently it's good for your health, makes it more purified, and then it evaporates. Bloody water evaporates too. It does so many things. Boil it, evaporates. But yeah, you can even pop it in a humidifier. Some people can't breathe properly, so they have that. Like, it's just, what the hell?
Yeah.
But I like it. But yeah, I used to be that person that carries around a 1.5 litre bottle of water. I need to get back into that.
I lost my bottle.
I think I threw it out because I didn't have room in the pantry, and then that was that.
Yeah.
And
I
then
lost the bottle that you gave me.
Oh, what? The dark blue one? No, you had that for years.
I know, I talked about it the other podcast. I lost it. I don't know where it went.
Oh, well.
Which is sad.
Your 30th birthday's coming up, James.
Oh my god, my favourite present.
Yeah. Oh, this again.
No, it was good. I think that it's one of the things that has so many lessons, and I kind of love that about it. It's just has the ability to soothe you, has the ability to kill you, has like so much.
Very cleansing. When you're in the shower, like with me, I used to, when I was working from home, I'd have 2 showers a day when I'm stressed. Like during my lunch break, I'd just go in the shower and just be like, oh, yes.
Yeah, and it also has the ability to be like freezing
steam,
cold, like
the saunas, yeah.
Yeah, and then also like, you know, warm, humid. Oh, blah, blah, blah. It's just, I don't know, it's just so versatile.
Versatile. I agree.
And I think it shows you that.
Be like water, my friend.
And the spectrum of like everything that it can be.
Yeah, it's just. It's
and
amazing.
It's just 2 hydrogen.
I remember us being in
Oxygen.
chemistry, and she's just like, our teacher was like, so what's water made up of? And me and James were like, 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah. We had to do you remember? It was an assignment. We had to do all these like equations. I'll never forget that because we were the only ones that didn't listen in class and got an A+.
Oh yeah, we did.
That was the assignment.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was good. But yes, very calming, very nice. I like it. James has got beautiful blue eyes to like mirror water.
But water's clear.
What about the you know how you mentioned like what the signs, how there's fire, water, air.
And earth.
Yeah. What does the water like component, like what are their traits with people?
Like water. So they have like basically every sign has a quality about it assigned to it as well. So just because you're water, if you could be fixed water, which is assigned to Scorpio, and Scorpio is often attached because they think of the tail of a scorpion that like stings you and all that kind of stuff. But being a fixed kind of thing, you could kind of imagine it as more a iceberg in terms of like the fixed nature of it and that aspect of it. So, you know, they often say that, you know, obviously the sting of that, but also a person who wouldn't really move away from what they deem to be their core and their truth.
So kind of like not just a one-track mind.
If you believe something so wholeheartedly and you're kind of unwavering in it, so I would say they say that, you know, that aspect of people who are fixed signs in Scorpio, I would equate to, just based on my knowledge of it, and a fixed sign as, I don't know, just kind of like a person who's not afraid to be independent and unwavering and, you know, stick to what they believe is truth. So a bit more of a hard ass. Being like, nah, I'm not backing down, this is what I think and this is how it is, and I'm just going to be...
I've ever met a scorpion.
Oh, Jerry.
I actually don't go around. I've asked you,
I think she's a Scorpio.
She's a scorpion.
Yeah, Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpio
All
and
right.
Scorpio. And then you've also got another water signs, which is Cancer. And they are in June, July. Yeah, June, July. And they have the qualities of being a cardinal sign, and the cardinal signs more in between those states. So what I kind of think of that as more water itself, the ability to be icy cold or, you know, thing. So it kind of goes between both of them, and I equate them more as being in touch with their sense of intuition and tied to, you know, the qualities of water. And, you know, they get a bad rap as crabs and being a bit, you know, snappy and that, but hey, it's, I think like when you really think about all this kind of stuff, it's just like the whole nature of water, I think, just goes to show you that there's so much that we can and can't see, like
potential
below the surface of like an iceberg, how deep it goes and all that kind of stuff. It's just a lot more complicated than what we can just simplify in language.
It's kind of like people don't know exactly what's in our ocean.
And then
I don't know, sky's the limit.
Then the most mutable sign in the last of the zodiac is Pisces, but the other people who believe in the zodiac going the other way, it's the first. So that's Pisces and that's the fish. And they're the most mutable, so I would equate them more, even though they're the fish, I see the fish as more the movement, and I would equate them more towards the condensation nature of water and the ability that water has to rise above that and be
That's
condensation.
Cool. So there's 3 signs for every element.
Yeah.
What am I lumped with?
You're
So
lumped with air.
Aquarius, Gemini, and
Libra.
Really?
Airs.
Fire, Capricorn.
Nah.
No, what's Capricorn?
Earth. I'm just all
What
earth
are the
signs.
fire signs then?
Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries.
Actually, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I think if I had to think about one of the best things, I think it's rain.
It's kind of
There's
like
something about the quality of it just coming from the sky.
even like when you go to the beach. I remember me and my mum went a couple of days ago, and I was like, if I could choose to live in a forest, which I do love, there's something about when you just are near a beach, you just zone out. I don't care what you're going through. It's just you sit there or stand there and you're just like, it's just so calming. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's just like hypnotizing.
Yeah. I think anywhere where there's a body of water.
Yeah, a lake.
I think that the fact that you're made up of water, how can you not
identify with it? Yeah.
Like, you go, I'm me with all my personality and everything. It's like, you're also,
70% water.
So it's like, how, there's something in you that is tied to this, and this has given you the ability to be alive.
It's very interesting.
It's like you're tied to it, and people, I reckon, always love to put things in boxes and categories and be like, blah blah blah. Water is water. It's it's a part of you, but it's not you. I'm like, it's a part of you. So it's obviously, yes, it's changing all the time, and the different types of water we drink and all that kind of stuff. But it's just like you're still made up of it. So how's it not having an effect on you? And I also think when it comes down water quality as well, I think plays a big role in people's health.
It's kind of like like in Africa and everything. I remember in high school and everything, there's certain people out there just trying to provide a well for a town, something so basic. That is bloody hard. Like, I've done that in Sri Lanka, where you have to pull water from a well. I can't even open a can. Like, my kombucha was opened by James. I can't, but I guess if you know nothing else and you have to survive, I'd find a way to drag it up. Sure.
Just jump in.
Yeah.
Wait for it to rain. Nah, they've got colours.
Kind of like you feel more awake as well. Like, if you get up in the morning and just have a cold shower. I got used to that. I trained myself, but now I'm a pussy because I went back to hot water.
It's so good for your scalp. It's so good for your hair. So good for just waking your body up, I guess.
Yeah. There's people that, Norway, they jump in it's
like when you put your vegetables in an ice bath of just ice and water. It's just like your vegetables are looking a bit sad. You put them in that, and then all of a sudden they're back to
even James's TV's here, and it has hydrangeas, and they say when a hydrangea is drooping, put it the other way in the water, in the vase if you can, and within like 10 minutes it spruces back up again. Like, it's just insane.
Yeah, I love hydrangeas.
I love it. And I learned something with hydrangeas.
dependent.
Depends on the type of soil. Would
Determines
have
the
pink,
colour.
yeah, determines the color, which is interesting because we have a decking at home. One side we have hydrangeas, which are blue, which is facing my window, which I love, and then the other side is bright pink. And I was always like, actually, I literally thought that hydrangeas were just different colors, like roses.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Now you know that it depends on the soil.
Yeah, the
And,
contents
yeah.
of the soil.
That determines.
I think I was watching Bonnie on Garden Gurus, and she mentioned it. I'm like, no.
Like, no way.
Yeah.
Hey, Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie. My parents love you. They're like, oh, it's your friend Bonnie on the TV. I'm like, thanks, Mom. Yeah. Love it.
Love it.
Love it. Love a good, like, even watching a waterfall. When you go to a waterfall,
yeah.
you're like, God damn. Look at God's creation.
Yeah, there's something about it. Like dams, rivers, lakes. How it has the ability to, like, have these reflections in it.
It's kind of like nature has that thing
Yeah.
where you can't put your finger on it, but it's just, it's like walking into another reality
And, like, the
that
sky.
the city doesn't have.
And, like, the contents of, like, the sand, and then being able to see through it, like turquoise kind of colours because of the mineral content.
True.
You know, the sky is influencing the colour as well.
It's kind of like a mirror effect. It's kind of like that scene in Forrest Gump where she's just, spoiler alert, she's dying. And she's like, how was it, like, your adventures? And there was the scene where the water reflected the sky, and I was like, wow.
Another really beautiful thing is when you put flowers in ice.
Mm.
And there's
I've never
frozen
tried
in
that. Do they freeze?
Yeah, you can freeze them.
Wow.
That's what my auntie did. She makes, like, she gets 2 buckets, puts water in it, and then we'll put, like, ivy and flowers and whatnot, and then you can have them for, like, say a birthday party where you want, like, a really, like, I guess a decoration of just, like, putting, like, champagne in the ice. What do you call it? Like a...
Oh, you mean like what your sister had at her 30th?
So
it's like an ice,
people,
like a holder, ice holder for champagne.
You can put, like, roses in it and stuff as well, depending on what you want to do based on the thickness of the ice and whatnot. And it's just, like, super cool. Another thing I found out from the Halloween party the other day is that if you freeze tonic water, it glows in the dark.
What?
Yeah. Based
Really?
on the content of what creates the tonic. That's like,
interesting. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, so we made a cocktail. Well, I didn't make it. Yeah, we made a cocktail, and it had they put them in round circle trays. I guess circular trays. So it created like a moon, and
That's
they
unbelievable.
called it werewolf moon was the name of the
Of course.
cocktail, and yeah, it glows in the dark, which was pretty cool. And it was in a blue liqueur, so it looked even.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Bit of science for you. You just never know.
There's just, like, so much to do with, like, how nature is tied to it, and it's like
it's a lot we don't
it.
know. Yeah, no
It's
escaping it. Even like there's probably a bush in the back. You know what I learned? Dandelion. The root of a dandelion is apparently, and I know this because I happen to be going on TikTok, and apparently it's good for your heart valves. And you're meant to brew the root.
Oh wow!
And I was like, you just don't know. You walk past these bushes and trees and roots. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, maybe that's something.
A naturopath actually would know, but
we should do that with a naturopath.
yeah, there's plenty that the world provides. We just have become ignorant.
I think, like, the fact that you can just turn on your tap
It's like a luxury.
Yeah,
And we just
forget
take it for
Yeah.
take it for granted. Good chat, James. Jeez, that flew by.
Yeah, I know, and we didn't even talk about what we were up to this
I know, yeah. Just recording the song.
Yeah.
which will be up soon. But yeah, thanks James for having me over, not locking me out.
Thanks Jess for coming.
Okay, bye.
Bye.